Hello, it's Sharon from Be Divine Vintage. Today I'm going to show you a flip through of this journal that I made from paper bags. There is a video which I'll link below which shows you more of the process of how I chose the bags, fastened them together, how I chose graphics etc. to use to decorate the book. But today it's completed and it's the book Flip Through. So as I've said, the front and back is made of sturdy paper bag actually, and it measures approximately 11 by 7 inches. The front here is decoupaged with some fabric which I printed on using the Fairy Tea Party from Line Dot Arrow. There's a Suffolk puff on the front there. Here is some sari silk which I hand dyed myself. We've got a sari silk tie, and then on the back here we've got some Tim Holtz paper, and we have got some more of that lovely Line Dot Arrow Fairy Tea Party printed onto graphics printed onto fabric. Right, so let us, with no further ado, just untie the bow and have a look through. Let me check I've got that in the centre, which I have there. Right, so this is the first page, the inside cover, and on here we have got some vintage broderie anglaise with a little snippet pile of vintage laces together, held together, hand stitched together with this mother of pearl button and a rusted pin. Here I've used some Tim Holtz. These are vintage. The dress and hat is a vintage die cut. We've got some more of the Line Dot Arrow fabric, some Tim Holtz, and then here I've put together a selection of little paper bags and things. Let's just zoom in a little bit here so we can see. So here is a hand painted little money envelope. So I stamped this and hand painted. We've got a little fairy journaling card there, ticket. We can open up here. Here we've got, oh, sorry, no. It opens up this way, but here inside this envelope, we've got another envelope made from a glassine bag with a little bit of mixed media art on the envelope. And on this side, there's little tags and labels and things to use as well to write on. And this says pink. And that is fixed into this envelope. I can't think where I got that from. That graphic. Ooh, sorry about that. This opens up. So here we've got some of the Line Dot Arrow paper. Let's just move this across. You can see that. And in this envelope, oh, that's the back. That is the back of the pink envelope. Here we've got a glassine bag, and in this glassine bag is a tag that I made from printing on fabric. It's gessoed on the back so you can write on it. And there is another pocket here, but there isn't anything at that because I have left space for whoever gets this to put bits and pieces in themselves. So this envelope here is actually made from the bottom of one of the large bag that I cut up. So that goes like that. So on this page is made from it's a bread bag actually, this, and we've got another flip out here. This is vintage crepe paper, and I've put a couple of tags in. This is a Tim Holtz. This is one from the Line Dot Arrow Fairy Tea Party. We've got some hand dyed old vintage cotton down here, which has been dyed with an avocado. And here is the back of the envelope, which is again dyed with avocado. And in there is a card. It isn't actually the original, it is a reproduction, one that I made. Valentine card, like a little Cupid. So I'd imagine that's about 1930s, 40s. So on the front of this envelope, on the front of the bag, we've got 2 tea bags, because I thought fairy tea party, so let's have some tea bags, which I've stamped upon and put some vintage lace. And these have got little cards inside, little journaling cards. There's that one. This one is again a little mixed media tag that I made previously. We've got some vintage, well, I think this is more like antique lace here, which I've sellotaped on with some vintage sellotape, a little bit of glue as well on there to hold that on the front. And this is a glassine bag. There isn't anything in the glassine bag, that'll be up to you to put that in. The thumb hole of the bag here I've reinforced with vintage sellotape and this Tim Holtz face. And in the bag, take this out, in the bag is another little journal. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Is another little journal. Again, these are graphics from Line Dot Arrow. Beautiful graphics. I did like working with these. I did a whole journal on this Line Dot Arrow Magical Tea Party, and I loved working with it. So this one I've used some vintage papers, and like I say, the graphics from Line Dot Arrow. So that just sits in there. And then we turn this over, and on the back of here we've got a paper clip, sorry about that, a handmade embellished paper clip. We have got, again, this is a copy that I've made of a letter. This is an original postcard. Let's see if we can get a date on there. Well, I can't see a date, but it's the old king on there and we're in shillings. So this is going to be sort of probably before pre-1950s. Looking at her there, yeah, 1920s, 30s. And we've got a Lloyds Bank 5p, £5 envelope. There we've got a little Tim Holtz piece. We've got the vintage sellotape just to strengthen that, and we've got some more of the Line Dot Arrow just decoupaged onto there. So I've just put these together because I thought they looked really nice just together, and I've just pinned them onto there. Right, so here we have got a glassine envelope, and on the front here we have got, let's start with this very, very large tag for you to write on. Let's put that back in there. We have got this folded pocket with hand-dyed, eco-dyed paper, and in there we have got a it looks new, a banknote from another country, I don't know which. There's a little envelope, 2 little envelopes actually, for you to put your own bits and pieces. I thought like maybe receipts or I don't know, little notes that you might want to write to yourself. Here we've got a on the back side of the bag, that's got the vintage lace down the edge, and this is what I stamped myself. This idea came from Siggeet quite a number of years ago, but I do think they are really pretty, and it's got a lady Edwardian, I'd say, in a big Edwardian hat. So this is inspired by Robin Dudley Howe's The Artsy Bohemian. I had a go at hand painting. It's one of my first attempts, so I'm quite pleased with it. And some hug snug there, hand-dyed hug snug. So on this page we have got, again, it's the other side of this, well, another side of one of the bread bag here. We've got a little flip out here where we have got a tag made from the line dot arrow, and this goes into this little pocket. You can see there's transparency there, and this is a hand-dyed envelope. That flips out. Got a little die cut butterfly on there, which has been strengthened, and again one of those little tiny envelopes. This one says love, and space there for writing whatever the person that owns this wishes to write. So that just fits into there. Here we have got two spaces. We've got an envelope and we've got a glassine bag. Ooh, just let me stick that down. It's just lifted there, which I haven't decorated. Again, what I've tried to do is I want this to be something that not just all created by me. I want whoever buys this to do some of the creativity themselves. Again, we've got the thumb grip there, reinforced with a Tin Holtz rose, which is stapled on with these beautiful copper coloured staples. Again, the vintage sellotape at the back. If we turn this over, so you can see it's quite heavily embellished by myself, and that's why I wanted to leave some space free for whoever chooses to buy this to do themselves. There's a little altered paper clip there and a rather pretty journaling card with this stitching on it, some printed fabric, decoupage there onto vintage music paper, and I created a little pocket out of that same paper. And in here we have got, let's just take this out of here, a little book that I made. It's got a little envelope on the front with a little tiny journaling space. There we go, it falls out, that's in there. That's in there. Got some mixed media art, some slow stitch there. This is hand-dyed fabrics. These are hand painted flowers that I've made. Inside we have got some pages to write on. Sooty the Fairy. We've got a glassine envelope here, and in here we've got some paper to write on. I've got a terribly itchy nose. I don't know what that is. That's some paper to write on. We have got pages of vintage papers and dyed papers. In here, what have we got in here? Let's have a look. Oh, some more paper to write on. And there's the back of the book. It's made from corrugated card, but I think it's really pretty. Very pretty. Let's just pop that back into there. I have, like I said, tried to strengthen everything by adding this vintage sellotape to the edge. Let's just pop this back. And this just holds that book in place as well. There we go. So here we've got another of those little snippets of vintage and antique laces. We've got a journaling label. It's a luggage label. And this I think is really cute. Let me show you this. You see that? I do like that little pussycat there. And this does flip out this way, and again is an envelope. So decoupaged on here, and inside is again a copy of I think I've done a good job there with these copies of a letter dated from 1921. It's done on very fine paper, like an onion paper, so you know it's got the authentic feel. Even scrumpled it up there. That's just in there. And here on this side, this is the back page. We've got 4 of these Tim Holtz cards as journaling cards. They're just in this pocket, and this has just been decoupaged with some vintage newspaper and the country diary. Now in here, I'm sure I put some things in here. Well, this pocket is empty, but the front big pocket, let's have a look. The front big pocket has got some vintage cookery cards, pasta and rice, beef, stir-fried beef, chocolate cake, and a summer fruit flan. These are vintage, so I put those into there, and there is the pocket on the other side for whoever owns this journal to put something in. This whole journal was inspired by Laurie Girl on the Ridge. So that's the journal and the flip through. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've liked it. If you have, please like the video, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.